we always loved sports night. Sports night was fun. My kids at the time I was chairing the J, my son actually had his bar mitzvah right before I took over his chair, and my daughter had her bat mitzvah right after I ended my tenure as chair. So they were young teens, and I remember they always enjoyed kind of getting dressed up. It was their one time they got to go to sports night, and they were always very exciting, raised money for the J. It was really wonderful to serve on those committees. And we always had, we'd bring in interesting comedians or writers who would chair. But the most fun experience I had was at one time, it was always in a big room at a hotel, and there was a dais, and the president didn't have that many responsibilities, but we did sit on the dais. And one year, somehow it happened that Janet and I were sitting there, and between us was Buck O'Neill, who came to sports night, and he was probably an honoree that year, and we had a nice visit. But my best memory is that during a lull in the festivities, I think there was a small band that was playing, and they started to play a song as we were getting ready for dinner to start, and Buck turned to my wife and said, "When the music starts, it's time to dance." And he stood up and very elegantly held out his hand, and Janet took his hand, and while dinner was being served, Buck and Janet danced behind me on the dais for about 5 or 10 minutes, and and Janet really just thought Buck was the coolest guy ever after that.